Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here today. I'm talking about the movie Encounter. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, I would suggest you go and watch the movie first if you are concerned about spoilers. It's on Amazon Prime right now. You can watch it if you have a subscription. Encounter is a drama thriller film directed by Michael Pearce, stars Riz Ahmed, Octavia Spencer, Janina Gavankar, Rory Cochrane, Lucian-River Chauhan, and Aditya Geddada. Don't know if I pronounced those names correctly or not. As far as what I liked about the movie, I thought the cast was great. Riz Ahmed, in particular, was really good, as he always is, playing the main character of Malik. The older kid, Jay, I thought did a really good job as well. That was Lucian-River Chauhan who played him. And it seems like my dog Trixie has decided to get into my lap for the review. So sorry about that. There we go. Hey, Trixie, say hi. Okay, there you go. So yeah, basically what the movie is about is Riz Ahmed's character Malik is someone who's a special forces trained soldier who has been on a top secret mission for the last couple of years. He arrives in the middle of the night to take his kids on a secret road trip, and you find out fairly quickly into the movie that he may be mentally unstable. So things that I liked about the movie besides the cast was, like I said, Riz Ahmed was great. The older kid was great. Rory Cochrane, in particular, I thought was really good in this. And this is the second Rory Cochrane movie that I've reviewed so far. So that's cool. The music, I liked the music in this and the way that they used it. The cinematography I thought was great. And I really liked the concept, sort of this unreliable narrator as our protagonist that they use. Although it's pretty obvious, I think, early on that he is fairly unstable, but it is an interesting concept nonetheless. I also thought some of the subtle details were really interesting. In the beginning of the movie, you see he's got a tattoo with his ex-wife's name in it. There's a scene, again, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, I will be spoiling it. There's a scene where he shoots, William Forsythe, I believe. He shoots William Forsythe, and there's a Phil Collins song playing on the radio. And when that character's kids arrive, a couple minutes later, you can hear the same song is playing. So it's sort of a quick way to establish that not a lot of time has passed, however long that song happens to be. And there's another scene where the kids have got some buffalo burgers and someone comes in and sees them. And you understand that, again, probably not much time has passed because the burgers are still sitting there uneaten. As far as what I disliked about the movie, it was a little slow. It's not a very long movie, but it does certainly take its time. It didn't bother me. I actually sort of enjoyed it, but I can see how for other people it would be difficult to watch. Some of the dialogue was a little cheesy, I thought. The sort of really, I thought Octavia Spencer's character wasn't very important or necessary to the character. At first, I was sort of watching and going, okay, I'm not really interested in this, but I assumed in the end they would sort of bring it around and make her character important. And I feel like they really didn't. They have this scene where she shows up with him and the kids, and you think maybe she's going to be an integral way to sort of talk him down, and she tries her best. It's not her fault by any means, but she doesn't. So it's sort of, I guess, what was the point of that character at all? It's interesting to show an outsider's perspective so we can sort of see where he's coming from, and she does provide some exposition as far as the backstory of his character and everything else, but yeah, I guess I don't really know if we needed her character necessarily. It is a little melodramatic, the movie, especially toward the end. I thought the scene with Malik and his son Jay in the car or the truck was a little over the top for me, a little more than I needed. And in particular, I did not like the ending of this movie. What happens at the end is there's sort of a standoff. He's sitting in the truck with his child Jay, and Jay, his child, ends up getting the gun and getting out of the car, which I suppose distracts the cops long enough for Malik to get out as well and to not be injured. I didn't like the way that situation was resolved. Up until that point, I was actually really enjoying the movie, and my score was kind of between a 7 and an 8, I think. But for me, just the way that was handled, especially the shot with the lighting and the I don't know, the way that they were trying to make the helicopter look like a spaceship or whatever was just too much for me. So that, I think, would drop my rating down to a 6. And that's what I think I would give this movie overall, is a 6 out of 10. So I really liked the concept, and I was really interested in it. I thought there was a lot a lot good there. I do think that the movie misrepresented itself a little bit. I could see some people online were saying that they wanted a sci-fi movie, and it's really not a sci-fi movie. It's more of a psychological thriller. And even like if you go to IMDb, I think the synopsis is two brothers embark on a journey with their father, who is trying to protect them from an alien threat. So they're very much, I thought the trailer was pretty obvious that there was more going on than that. And I can understand why they made that choice, but I can see why some people would be upset. The movie is actually more like, in some ways, like First Blood. And it reminded me a little bit of a movie from about 5 or 6 years ago called Cop Car, that was directed by John Watts, who now directs the Spider-Man movies, which is what we'll be seeing next week. A little bit of an old Kevin Costner movie called A Perfect World, too, from the early 90s, where he's sort of a bad guy of some sort who abducts a kid who ends up sort of idolizing him, in this Stockholm Syndrome kind of situation. But there were some similarities from what I remember of that movie that I saw 30 years ago as well. This Michael Pearce is the name of the director here. This is his second feature film, as far as I can tell. He did some shorts and some TV. His other movie is called Beast, I think. It sounds kind of interesting. I have not seen it or heard of it, or I'm not familiar with any of the cast. I believe he's a British director. But overall, I thought the direction was interesting, and I'm curious to see where he goes from here. Like I said, my score would be a 6 out of 10. I do think it was worth watching, and I thought the concept was really good, but I didn't necessarily like the execution. Phil will be back next week. We'll be reviewing Spider-Man Far From Home, and then I believe The Matrix the week after. So thank you so much for watching this review. Hope you have a great night, and we will see you here again next week.